Hey everyone, welcome back to Disenfranchised, episode number 5. And it's been a week. It has been a very disappointing, very disheartening week. I don't know if anybody was able to check out the stream I did last night with Dane from Actual Fandom, but we went really in depth there. And I was originally planning on sort of opening up the stream with some sort of long-winded political speech, and there's going to be some short-winded political speech, no doubt about it. Because for anybody who watched the stream, there were technical issues for a good. Oh, hey, Crazy Joe, good to see you, man. Yeah, there were some technical issues when I was first there, and unfortunately, there was a lot of points that. By the way, Crazy Joe, man, he's got a cool stream, cool channel. If you guys haven't seen it, concession stand. I think he has another travel based one too, but I was going to say, yeah. So it's been a disappointing week, and I really kind of went into a lot of my bigger sort of, I guess you could say, grievances. I think like a lot of people. I have a picture I wanted to show you, but I didn't know how to send it to you. That's how would I should not be so hard to reach. I'm on Discord if you want to. I'm also on if you want to send me a follow on X, Twitter, or whatever. I am on there just for like DMs and stuff. So if you want to send it to me that way, although I would prefer Discord now that I think about it. Anyways, so um I guess without getting too fucking deep into it, because I don't want to make this show like all like fucking too heavy on what happened this week on the political thing, on the political side of things. I am clearly disappointed in America. that is the biggest thing. I'm a lot less angry than I am like, I can't believe that as a country we fell for this shit again. I think that's my biggest sort of that's the biggest feeling that I'm left with. And I think it sucks because as you guys can tell, I was planning on totally walking away from covering politics if Kamala won. I was sure she was going to win. I was so sure that I dedicated October to relaunching my channel to dedicate it solely to covering independent movies, art house movies, and foreign films and all that shit. And I'm still going to do that. Okay. I'm still going to do that because I want to tell you guys a cool story. Because while this week has been shitty on the political side of things, this has been a fantastic for a week for me on a professional basis. But you know what? Maybe I'll save that story for another day because I don't want to get too off topic here. But what I'm saying is this, man. Life goes on, and the future looks bleak, no doubt about it. But we can't just like cower in fear. We can't just sit back and let this shit control us. We got to take this anger. We got to take this fear. We got to turn it into positive action, But we can't do that without taking care of yourself a little bit first. If you can't, what's that metaphor? You got to put your oxygen mask on first before you put your kids' oxygen mask first. First. Hey, what's up, Dio Brando? How you doing, bro? So it is important to in times like these to take care of yourself, to take care of your mental health, and also like to reach out. I think it's important now more than ever to understand the world, and I'm confused how you lads could have voted that way. Hey, I didn't, dude. I did not. That Trump never had my vote. Not since 2015, man. I am disappointed for a lot of reasons. Again, if you guys want to check out my stream that I did with Dane from Actual Fandom last night, we definitely talked about it. The first like 20 minutes or so had some technical issues, but after that, it went pretty smoothly. What was I gonna say? Yeah, we got to take care. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing, man? I literally just finished Look Back. I don't know what Look Back is. Is that a TV show or what was I gonna say? Yeah. So, yeah, you got to take care of your mental health, right? You got to take care of yourself. And then once you're good, then you could start being more productive. Then you can start doing some more positive action. But you gotta, oh, okay, dude, like it's like next. I need to start. I have been one thing that I'm sort of really ashamed of is that I've been like very like ignorantly like uh refusing to watch anime, and I need to change that, dude, because I've been watching a lot of Miyazaki stuff, and this is it's like, if nothing else, these movies are visually stunning. But back to the main topic at hand here, and that's self-care. All right, we're gonna talk about comfort watches and sort of movies that I personally like to go to sort of get that sort of warm uh sense of comfort whenever whether good times or bad times, whenever I just kind of need to feel a little bit like cozy or something. These are the movies that I turn to. All right, and that's what we're gonna. I was originally gonna do movies that everybody loves that I hate. But I was like, man, there's gonna be so much negativity this week that I'm gonna be feeling. That's gonna be out there, and I think we're all gonna be a little bit sick and tired of. Myself personally, okay. So I want to take this moment, turn all this fucking negative fucking shit that's going on, and let's just kind of go in the opposite direction here. Let's talk about fucking stuff that we watch to sort of um deal with times like these. And anybody in the chat, please feel free to mention movies that you like to go to for a little bit of comfort and a little bit of familiarity. But before I get to some actual movies here, I want to give a shout out to a couple of games that I personally like to turn to for a little bit of just sort of like turn your mind off and indulge a little bit in some sort of like comfortable shit. And first of all, number one for me, this is Gran Turismo 7. I've been loving this game. I've been playing it for like the past 3 weeks. A little bit each day. It's a racing game. The great thing about racing games is you can play them for like 10 minutes or you can play them for several hours and you're still going to get the same quality of experience. But I especially since I got the PS5 with the fucking 3D audio and the dual sense, like racing games have like completely. I've never been to. I've dabbled in racing before, but it wasn't until this generation that I really got into them, and they're just such a great way to like just blow some steam off, like especially if you commute a lot and you're stuck in traffic, like indulging in a fantasy where you could just kind of go as fast as you want through all this fucking shit. Like it's just a really fun way to sort of like zone out a little bit. And I love Gran Turismo 7 because it's like the right mix of arcade and like realistic like handling in their vehicles, so that it takes skill. Like you got to know what you're doing. You got to pay attention to how you fucking control your car, but not so much that like the game is overly punishing for like a couple of mistakes here or there. It is the it is the Dark Souls of racing, but it's still pretty forgiving, all things for considered. But I also play Dirt, I also play WRC, and I also play Grid. But Gran Turismo 7 sort of been my go-to more lately than anything. And I don't know about you guys, but I've been really wanting to get myself like, or yeah, I don't know. We'll see how the economy goes, but I would love to get into sim racing someday. Because yeah, I don't know, man. I like going fast. Me go fast, me likey. Okay, so racing games. That's one thing that I personally like to turn to for comfort here. Let me get some water. All right, let's continue here. Something else, something else that I like to play for comfort is it's a little game that nobody liked, that everybody knows, as Baldur's Gate 3. Dude, fucking this game is like literally everything everyone says it is. And yeah, I don't want to fucking overhype it, but I don't know if I can, right? Because it's just such a celebrated game. But if it's like I miss the Need for Speed Underground series. Dude, there's so many things that I wish that Rockstar would bring back. I miss the bully games, you know. I wish they did more with the Max Payne series. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Red Dead and GTA as much as the next guy, but like I don't know, they used to do so much more, right? But yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is it's it is probably like the quintessential RPG. And it's pretty much like any type of game that you want it to be, depending on how you play it. And um, I don't know, like it's so weird, right? Like, because I feel like there's this stereotype that everybody wants to play like the villain, everybody wants to play the bad guy, and my internet is there. It is. Yeah, I think there's like this sort of like stereotype that every gamer like wants to play the bad guy or the villain, fucking like role in an RPG and shit. And I've tried that, I've definitely like it's amazing. You can disappear into that game for hours. It's an RPG done right. That is the best way to put it. It's an RPG done right. Like you really can role play as any type of character you want. And every little like way that every little choice you make matters in ways that don't in other games, or it's like it kind of reminds me of like Mass Effect, the Mass Effect trilogy, but like done well without that disappointing ass like final hour. Um, and it's weird. Like I've started so many games with so many different types of characters, including like so many times that I tried to play as the villain or the bad guy. But each and every time, like I gravitate towards just trying to help everyone. And like sometimes it bothers me because I feel like there's a whole part of this game that I'm missing because I can't commit to like being the villain. But I don't know, dude. Like it's weird. I don't feel like I have to force myself in a way that I'm being overly conscious about it, and that doesn't feel right. But I don't know. What I'm trying to say is Baldur's Gate 3 is a game that is very well written in the sense that like all the sort of character motivations, all the backgrounds, and a lot of the side quests, they all revolve around these familiar themes of control, of like of like religious, like I guess like what's the word I'm looking for here? Like religious extremism. There's a lot of stuff about like working with people who are diametrically opposed and stuff. But because it's a video game, like there's a logic that is rewarding to play through that you can appeal to within these characters, and they're very complex and all that shit. So I think specifically in times like now where the odds seem so fucking overwhelming and things look so bleak, don't get me wrong, don't sit around playing video games all day. But if it helps you sort of indulge in this fantasy where you can totally be the fucking character that addresses these fucking issues head on in a way that isn't cheap, in a way that's actually going to demand you to put some more like thought and consideration to your actions and shit and rewards your creativity. Yeah, play this game. And dude, yeah, if you can play it on your PC, and if you can play like with all those mods too, shit, dude. Like I played on the PS5 and I love it. I can't imagine if I had access to all the fucking different sorts of mods and shit. But as it is, vanilla, like it's a pretty well balanced, well designed game. Um, and while there's a lot of things that would be convenient about it, like I don't know if I would trade much of it for like what we got. All right, guys. So now that we got some honorable mentions out of the way in terms of video games, let's talk about 9 movies and 1 TV shows that I like to turn to for comfort. And this is going to be again in no particular order. We're just gonna go through this list as the vibes fit here. And number 1 or number 10, however the hell you want to do this, and this is probably my most recent watch here. All right, and this is Akira Kurosawa's Ikiru. And I actually saw this for the first time on Sunday. Um, and it's interesting, right? Because I liked it. I liked it the first time that I watched it. Um, and I haven't seen it again, to be fair. But what felt when I first watched it, like a little overly sentimental and a little uneven, has sort of taken on a whole new meaning. A whole new meaning since the election night. Yeah, no, it is definitely an excellent movie. what this movie is about realizing that you let too much time slip by, and I think that's something that all of us are sort of, if not not literal time, but I think one thing that a lot of us on the left, and I think Democrats especially should, or if they're not, they should be waking up to. It's just the fact that we let a lot of shit slip. We let a lot of sort of stuff get past us that we should have been paying more attention to. And in some ways, how this movie sort of deals with that conflict, with like realizing that shit, like this has already happened. I can't stop it. What can I do, before shit gets too bad? I think that sort of story, in retrospect, like has impacted me a lot more. And I do need to watch this movie again, but like, right, like it's so weird. Like ever since the election, like the first movie that I thought about was Ikiru, because yeah, like I I I love this movie because it's about like such a flawed fucking person, right? Somebody who you look at and you feel so much empathy towards, and you feel so much like you want to reach out to the dude, but you also totally understand how he got to where he is, you know? And like the movie is very emotionally honest, while at the same time saying something that is very very universally relevant. It's something that we should all sort of kind of take to heart now, where this guy kind of realizes that there's no such thing as too late. Like you decide when it's too late. And you decide when there's nothing that you can do, and that decision is ultimately up to you, because what our main character here in Akiro does, and what the sort of presentation of it is something that I had issues with, that I think might play different a second time around, because in retrospect, this is a movie so much about legacy. um and that's something that's definitely been on my mind since Tuesday. Yeah, it just hits different, and it's a movie that I'm glad that I watched, because I feel like without knowing it, it sort of gave me a direction. It sort of gave me something to look towards, and that's like, uh shit's not gonna be good, but that doesn't mean that I can't fucking do anything about it. And I do want to like reach out. I'm someone that likes to donate a lot to like mutual aid causes and food banks, and stuff like that, and different charities, and humanitarian causes, but usually that's where I stop. And I think that's something that I need to reconsider, and actively put myself out there to be a better active member of my community and better serve people, man. And I think that's something that I personally, this movie especially, I think helped me sort of uh, really commit to, because something that I've talked about doing for a while, but I need to just start doing it, and yeah, Ikiru is just about the value of that. It's about um, it's about absurdism to some extent, right? Like if nothing we do matters, and all that matters is what we do. And that's going to be the first time probably that I touch on that idea during this countdown. So get ready for that. But I just really enjoy this story, and I think it's very beautifully directed. Akira Kurosawa is one of the legendary masters of film. And I think this is, it's probably his most sentimental stuff that I've seen, and sort of seeing that grand directorial vision and style to tell this story, it was pretty special, you know. To something kind of really sentimental, and all that. We're gonna go kind of in the opposite direction here. I want to talk about Bad Lieutenant Protocol New Orleans. And this is a movie directed by Werner Herzog, starring Exhibit, Nicolas Cage, who else? Sofia Vergara, I think. No. The chick from Ghost Rider. I don't know. Well, that's yeah, the scene where he's crying on the swing. Yeah, no, dude, that shot definitely fucking hit me like a fucking ton of bricks, man. No, Akira is a fucking amazing movie. But it's a very sincere movie. And on the surface, okay, here's the thing of Bad Lieutenant Protocol New Orleans is an interesting movie, right? Because in certain lenses, some people might consider it one of those so bad it's good movies. But and at first, that's what I considered it, and that was the appeal for me, right? This sort of weird, absurd, what the fuck is this sort of movie? And it's to the point that like it was one of those movies that I would show to my friends over and over again. That I would hold screenings of in my back in my old townhouse and shit. And so like over time, I've actually come to see like the sincerity in this movie, or at least the more artistic, grand. Because this is a Werner Herzog movie, dude. This is a Werner Herzog like take on a direct to video like thriller or something, you know. And again, that's like what it is on the surface, but I tell you, man, if you see this movie enough times, you will see like a genuine uh, uh fantastic use of like mise en scene and especially set design and costuming. Like this is a movie where the big fucking moments are so big that people forget all the subtle nuance moments, right? And let me give you guys a great example here, right? Because in this movie Nicolas Cage plays a crooked cop, and he's a crooked cop who is sort of mixed up in the underworld of this sort of I think it's Haitian immigrant community of New Orleans, right? It's called Protocol New Orleans. And so he's amongst them and he feels like a lot of sympathy towards the Haitian immigrants. And there's this amazing and it's again, there's this really, if it weren't for all the fucking big goofy shit, like stuff like this would be considered like a highlight, right? Because there's a scene where he investigates he uncovers a drug ring, and then he's going to where they're about to try to capture the relatives of or whatever, right? Yeah, Fairuza Balk's in it too. There's a lot of like Val Kilmer's in it. Who else? There's a lot of like 90s like there's one dude, he kept saying, "Oh yeah," something like that. I forgot. There's another '90s actor who fucking totally steals the scene in this movie. But anyways, so there's this scene where he shows up and the police is out there with their guns out and SWAT is there and he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! We're just here to capture like two guys. What the fuck are you guys doing?" Eva Mendes. That's who it is. There it is. Yeah, Eva Mendes. So so there's a scene where like Nicolas Cage's character shows up and the police is out of full force. He's like, "What the fuck are we doing? We're just here to capture two guys." And he's like, "Well, we want to make sure that we capture these guys." And they clearly just want to like shoot a bunch of like the subtext is that they just want to like go full force because it's a black community. And he's like, "No, man, I got this." And what he does is he goes next door, and it's all like in one steady cam long take, right? He goes next door, knocks on the door. He goes next door, knocks on it, and says, "Hey, so there's criminals next door. Do you mind if I go through your backyard to go through their back door?" And she was like, "Yeah, of course." So he just walks in, quietly enters the back door of the house, and just like sneaks up on them right then and there. And again, like moments like that sort of speak to the actual sincere core of this movie, which is about the bizarre redemption and non-redemption of this crooked fucking cop. It also has like one of the funniest fucking introductions to the third act. There it is, Brad Dourif. That's who it is. Yeah. Yeah, I knew it was someone like that. But I there are Deus Ex Machinas, what the sort of the opening of the third act of this movie reminds me of like a slightly less subtle like version of the ending of Dodgeball, the true underdog story, or like literally at the end, there's a Deus Ex Machina, and it's like a rule they're referring to or whatever that just comes out of nowhere and resolves the conflict. There is a moment like that in this movie, and I'm just gonna spoil it, but there's a moment like that in this movie, but it's literally like one of the characters like coming up to Nicolas Cage, who at this point is at his wits end. He's caused all these problems for himself, and then the sheriff just comes up to him and says, "Good news." It's one of the great. It's such a fucking bizarre turn, and then fucking where the movie takes Nicolas Cage's character from there, like his arc. It's so fucking weird, and it's so fucking well done. Yeah, Bad Lieutenant Protocol New Orleans, and I'm sorry, my voice is super raspy today. I did I did date stream last night and like went straight to bed, so my voice is still maybe a little tired from that. But yeah, Bad Lieutenant Protocol New Orleans is an endlessly entertaining movie, and it's an endlessly rewatchable movie, and it actually weirdly it weirdly pays off rewatching because it's one of those films that actually reveals itself the more that it like the more that you pay attention to it, you know. And each time that you watch it, it's such a fucking weird and goofy ride that you're gonna be entertained no matter what. So, if you're looking for a pick me up, Bad Lieutenant Protocol New Orleans. I'm pretty sure it's streaming for free on YouTube. I promise you, you're gonna have the time of your life watching it. All right, guys. So, let's go from something real fucking goofy like to something a little more hard on its sleeve. All right, and that is Beyond the Infinite 2 minutes. This is from the guy who made One Cut of the Dead, and this I believe this is the movie he made after that, and he made, and it's weird, right? Because apparently this is just sort of his style. Like he likes to make movies that are like one take or presented in one take, right? And there is a semi sequel to this movie called River, um, and it's like an expansion on. Well, okay, let me try to explain Beyond the Infinite 2 minutes before I talk about River, right? Because obviously this is what we're talking about here. But let's just say Beyond the Infinite Minute slash River, whichever one of those two movies you want to watch first, make sure you watch the other one, right? But the basic idea of this movie is that the film itself is a time travel machine, right? This movie, the brilliance of especially this movie of the one take conceit, and the way that it handles that with the idea of time travel is it, it actually puts you as the audience in the passenger seat, and it's sort of like low key makes you an active participant just by witnessing the events, right? By you watching this movie, you are committing an act of time travel. That is the weirdest part about this movie. That sounds bizarre, and yes, I am a little high, but hear me out here, okay? Because essentially when this movie presents its logic to you, and because it presents its logic and expresses its like time travel logic purely within the world of itself, it's self-contained within its own world, all you're doing is going along for the ride because you're not like watching it from a distance. You are the active witness to this. You are a part of this journey because of the perspective of the camera and all this shit. It is one of those things that is subtly brilliant because it's done so seemingly effortlessly, right? It seems like a gimmick that this is a one take time travel sci-fi comedy, right? The one take aspect of it always seems like a big gimmick whenever someone says the whole movie is done like in one take, right? Because everybody knows it wasn't. You know, he edited some shit together, but like whatever. We'll go with the illusion. Um, but in this movie, the fact that it is one take is the whole point. It actually makes it a key, not just a key part of the experience, but it actually is the time machine. The one take aspect of it is what takes you along on this active trip through time that is both forward and backward. I'm not kidding here, guys. Like if you watch this movie, you will travel in time within the logic of this universe by watching it. And that's all I really think I need to. Also, it's like 72 minutes long. Like it goes by fast. It is not just it's not just like Primer where it's just like a trippy idea. These are some very well realized characters, and it's a surprisingly sweet movie in the end. and it's a fun ass fucking time, dude. So Beyond the Infinite 2 minutes, it's a good little 72-minute escape from reality and into a time travel machine. So yeah, make sure to check that movie out. Uh so from Beyond the Infinite 2 minutes, let's see. Let's see. Let's go something to a little bit more on the heady side of things. All right. And that is 2001 A Space Odyssey. I think I've said a lot of times that this is the first movie that I saw that really hold on. I feel like I should be like over here. Yeah, that's a better place. All right. This is the first movie that I saw that showed me that movies can be more than just a story, right? That it could be about these grand ideas and these grand things, but even bigger, you know, is I think part of the reasons why this movie spoke to me so much when I was like in seventh grade was because that was a very difficult time, for a lot of reasons for me back then. And watching movies like this that were about such grand philosophical, films with such grand philosophical ideas is something that sort of um helped me remember that there's something bigger out there than like what I'm experiencing. And when I think back on, I think that's something that has fueled a lot of my interest in like history, in science, and a lot of stuff like that. It's just the fact that like by going through experience, like going through these sort of bigger ideas, whether it be through art or through like podcasts or whatever YouTube videos, like it helps me remember that like I might just be like putting in my 40 hours a week and just paying my bills and trying to get by and all that, but there's also all this other cool stuff out there um that I get to experience and I get to witness and I get to learn about if I seek it. And I think 2001 A Space Odyssey takes that sort of curiosity and rewards it by not only presenting this grand philosophical sort of like, I guess you could say, tableau or whatever, this grand like scope that is about these grand ideas, but it is also a movie that grounds you very much within it, that manages to feel um down to earth and realistic and like you're there, but also feel like even in 2024, um like almost like alien like in its future, in the future that it depicts, right? Because it's such a positive and utopia like future that we did not get. But to see like to see to go from where we are now to something like this that not only is able to give you a little bit of like bigger ideas to think about, but that ultimately I think in the end speaks to something that is genuinely like optimistic and hopeful, and that does it in a way that isn't like cheap and that isn't like cloying or overly sentimental, but like done very well through Stanley Kubrick's like brilliant direction and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that it's good to remember that um people do like this shit and that this stuff does like speak to people, and that as long as like and I think it's important that people hold on to that part of them that wants to like um think about these bigger ideas and can and fearlessly sort of um optimistically look towards the future and stuff like that. And I think that's something that we're all gonna have to try to do. And thankfully there's movies like this out there to help us do that. And also, like, it's just one of the greatest movies of all time. It's so weird. Like, I watch it and I can like intellectually tell why people call it slow. But I think ever since I was like 18, I haven't felt like it was like a slow movie. I mean, sometimes more so than others, but never to the point that like it loses my interest. And I can't even tell you how many times I've seen this movie. This is probably one of the movies, one of the movies that I've rewatched the most in my lifetime, and up there with one of the other movies that I've rewatched the most in my life is The Lost World Jurassic Park. Well, I've talked a lot about how Jurassic Park is a movie that I limit myself these days to how many times I watch it, because I grew up watching it so much that I'm afraid of it losing its power. But I don't have a problem watching Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom a lot, or this movie, The Lost World Jurassic Park, for similar reasons. They're not as good. They're not as deep, and they're not as like impactful. Um, they're just like, hold on. What I love about The Lost World Jurassic Park is that in a lot of ways, when it's at its best, it feels like Aliens to Jurassic Park's Alien, right? It feels like a more action oriented sequel to something that I was a little bit more on the horror side. I feel like it does a really good job of taking a lot of the world building of the first movie and expands it into like Site B, into the InGen sort of like infighting and stuff like that. The Lost World is a movie that I used to watch so much when I was a kid that I actually memorized all the lines. Like like I would watch it and just like speak along to like every line. And that's because like for all its flaws, this has the best dialogue in all the Jurassic Park movies, you know? Maybe Jurassic Park 1 has more like insightful and meaningful dialogue, but in terms of like just like like how's the word I say here, like just dialogue, good fucking fun shit to say, dialogue, like memorable, quotable lines. I think this has a beat when it comes to all the entire fucking franchise. Um, and there's just the best thing about this movie, right? Is that despite what and I know Spielberg says this is like his least favorite movie of his, because it's just like an empty fucking like series of action scenes. And it's like, well, I mean, he's not wrong. I wouldn't say go so far to say it's empty. I think that for at least the first two acts, um there is a lot of like more depth. There's more to under the surface than I think he wants to give it credit for. But Spielberg is a really good action director. And he directs the shit out of all the action scenes in this movie. And yeah, it is just a series of one fantastic action scene to the other without a whole lot of fat in between. And that's why like it's so endlessly rewatchable, right? So you have all these awesome fucking dinosaur action scenes. You have all these great quotable lines. And not just that, but like it takes place in the jungle where it's like dark and muddy and like visibly humid and stuff and also the score like this is one of my most I think it's one of John Williams' most underrated like scores because it's so primal sounding. It borders on like tribalistic sometimes and it's like super dramatic and this movie actually has its own unique themes and soundtracks separate from the original. So yeah, like don't get me wrong. Like The Lost World Jurassic Park is a very imperfect movie. I think it's I think unfortunately there is a sort of like meandering quality to the sort of central conflict that starts off very interesting. The hunters and the researchers forced to work together. It starts off pretty promising. But then it just kind of goes to shit, like towards the third act, especially. And speaking of the third act, to me, that's where it sort of falls flat the hardest. I really don't like the San Diego sequences. I was never a fan of it, but I always kind of suffered through it because it is such a short part of the movie. And I understand why it's there. Like the original plans of the ending would have probably felt a little bit sudden, but I think sort of the dramatic tonal shift was a little too much for the Lost World Jurassic Park. And I think one of the undeniable strengths that Fallen Kingdom has over the Lost World Jurassic Park is that it moves this really key conflict of the dinosaurs on the mainland to the entire second half of the movie. And so it actually is allowed to, well, okay, I don't want to get too much into that because ultimately where this movie fails is that it saves for its third act. And this movie was so dark and dramatic that making it feel like this cheesy Godzilla ripoff to the point that it even has like I think somebody shouting Godzilla in it, I don't know, it just felt abrupt, but at the same time it kind of makes sense. And if you're only going to give that much time to it, you probably should just kind of treat it lightly anyways, because you're not going to be able to give it the gravitas that it needs. Um, it's a very flawed movie. It's a very imperfect movie, but it is a movie that I love. I'm still a 7-year-old Dino fan for those movies and can be straight garbage. I don't care, dude. 100%, right? Like that's how I feel about Fallen. Again, I talked about Fallen Kingdom a lot, but I love that. I love good dinosaur action. And if that is there in the Jurassic Park movie, you already got me like 50%, you know? All right, so let's see. Let's we already did that. Let's do a little bit of TV here because we're not gonna it's not gonna be the last time we talk about TV. All right. And I want to talk about the work of Nathan Fielder. I ever since Nathan for You, I have been just an absolute huge fan of this guy. Nathan for You, The Rehearsal, and The Curse have just been some of the best television that I've ever fucking seen. Not just in the fact that like it's like funny because like yeah, the comedy is fantastic, but the way that he is able to blur the line between fiction and reality, at least in the Rehearsal and in Nathan for You, um, has always been what sort of elevates his comedy from like just jackass level, like hidden camera sort of style stunts to something that genuinely says something, right? About like, and I mean, Nathan for You, I think, can be seen in certain like lights as a sort of critique of capitalism, you know, to some extent. Holy shit, Senior Nerd. Have I ever seen Red Rose? No, I haven't actually. Good to see you, Senor Nerd. Um, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, Nathan for You first kind of like on some level can be seen as a critique of capitalism, but what it turns into, especially like in its I think you know there's two key episodes to sort of like highlight the evolution of the show, and that's the hero where he takes over some dude's life for uh like a week and changes it completely. And then there is the search for Finding Francis, which is the series finale, where he helps a dude um, get back in contact with his high school sweetheart that he abandoned like 60 years before that. And what I think Nathan for You transforms to is ultimately a show that is a commentary on, you know, the character of Nathan Fielder, the sort of like awkward person, and how that sort of is a reflection of who Nathan Fielder might be personally. And also like just this sort of reality that we all put on, right? And then there's the Rehearsal, which sort of takes that idea and sort of blows it up in this sort of great way where like the entire show begins with the idea that he's going to use his resources to allow people to rehearse difficult experiences to prepare them for the real thing, right? But what is so fucking awesome about this show is that it starts off that way and then it collapses. There's a short entry level film he did. I watched that is pretty level of film that he does pretty. Oh, dude, yeah, the stuff that he has on YouTube is like really fucking. If you talk about his YouTube channel, yeah, there's some really fucking awesome stuff on there. Um, but with the Rehearsal, what's so great about it is the way that like he like halfway through the show, he's like, this isn't working. The idea of trying to rehearse you know, for life's like difficult moments is just awful. And then like what it turns into from there is just god damn, like the final scene of of the Rehearsal season 1 is one of the most disturbing and sad and weird and uncomfortable um endings to a supposed comedy shows that I've ever seen. And all of this while god there's just so much fucking weird shit. I don't know if you guys have seen the Rehearsal, but as you can see, he eventually creates a fake family for himself so he can rehearse for when he does have a family. And when he does that, like it's just like this. The shit goes off the rails, man. It just becomes such a non-fiction fiction thing, and that's what's so great about the first two Nathan for You sort of projects, right? Is that it really is him like erasing the line between the fictional reality, the fictional sort of um I guess you could say qualities of television, even reality television, and then the real world, and then just finding something in between to live in that is realer than real, because it's just so like um I don't know, man. He blurs so many lines when it comes to like I guess you could even say like ethics, but also just social acceptance. It's weird. He's willing to go there in a lot of ways that can be pretty shocking. But I think what he ends up doing with that, it's just so I don't know, man. And I think the reason why I find and I'll talk about the curse in a minute, but I think the reason why these two shows especially are so important for me, why I consider them comfort shows, is because I think this show is about sort of the discomfort that we all feel, you know, existing in the world that operates the way that it does. And I think there are times where I want to try to give the curse another chance. I didn't like watching it week by week. I'll talk about the curse in a minute. But with Nathan for you and the rehearsal, like what I find so comforting about them is that I think Nathan does such a good job of whether he is or isn't that awkward and that uncomfortable with himself. I think he plays that character so well and with such vulnerability that it's hard not to relate to it, right? I think we've all felt times where we felt a little bit vulnerable, a little bit awkward, a little bit uncomfortable. I think a lot of people when they enter their careers at first definitely suffer from like imposter syndrome, feelings like that. And I think this show explores that feeling in a sort of much more broader context. And between these shows, what starts off feeling a little bit more like satire feels more like philosophy by the time that it's over, right? And that's what makes those two shows so good. And then you got the curse, which is just man. Okay, so you said that you had trouble watching it week by week, and I totally get it, dude, because like it's such a seemingly plotless show. Watching it week by week, it's like, okay, so it's about a reality TV show. Wait, so it's about a casino, and what's going on? And the only thing that connects it is this fucked up dynamic between the three characters on the poster. And dude, all I can say is that it is a little aimless, but I think like this is Nathan for You's writing and directorial debut, and man, I think he must have really learned something about humanity with all his previous works because the way that he draws, and also the apparently he wrote this post his divorce, and you can kind of tell watching it because it's about a very dysfunctional and fucked up couple, Emma Stone and Nathan Fielder. And there's a lot of scenes that just feel very raw and very honest. And yeah, what Benny Safdie and Nathan Fielder managed to do with this show, especially by like the end of it, dude. I can promise you, man. I can promise you, you won't believe it. I remember watching it for the first time, the final episode. It just literally like whoa, like after like the first like 5 minutes, I'm like, what is going on? Like what the fuck? And just like the whole time being like, no idea where this is going. Like I can't tell you like just how on the edge of my seat the ending of the curse had me. And then, goddamn, dude, the ending of it, like the final scene, is like, God, how do I even describe it? It's the cameraman who drove the woman home drunk felt very realistic, dude. his character, yeah, his character is so fucking sad, and yeah, again, I recommend watching it because trust me, even though it's a little bit all over the place, seemingly, there is a method to the madness, and by the time you kind of realize the whole picture, dude, it is such a fucking wild ride. And again, I on top of all the stuff that I said, on top of all this like artsy fartsy philosophical crap that I just said, all his shit's funny. He's a funny fucking guy. And he's and he's really like clever and he works with good writers and good directors. Nathan Fielder, check out like all his works if you just kind of need some of the best comedy fucking out there, you know. But from brilliantly ironic to something a little bit more nostalgic, I want to talk about The Lion King, you know. And I've talked about this movie I think a lot. I think I've talked about how it's like one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Um, and that's still true. But yeah, like this is just a movie that I love to go to, just because of the sort of nostalgia of it all. But again, like the music is incredible. Not just like the sort of like big musical acts, but like Hans Zimmer's score. Like sometimes like his shit just like pops into my head, you know. And I don't know, man. Like I think right now I think it's easy to want to give into that Hakuna Matata life, you know. It's easy to just be like, you know, the world's turned its back on us. We need to turn our back on the world. But yeah, I think right now it's more important for us to meet the moment, to understand there's going to be hardships, and try to be a little bit braver, you know, and face the fact that if we're gonna get through this, it's gonna be because we all help each other out. And I definitely mutual aid, guys. That's something that I'm definitely going to be looking into a lot more moving forward. Again, I don't want to go too much on a movie that I've probably spent a shit ton of my time on this channel, like celebrating. But as you guys know, it's one of my all-time favorite movies. Of course, it's something that's like going to be a comfort watch for me. Even I can't fucking deny the Disney pool. But from you know, something a little bit more lighthearted and a little bit just straight up goofy here. It's probably one of my what is probably my all-time favorite comedy at this point, and that's Joe Dirt. Life's a garden. Dig it. Yeah. I love like the early, let's just say the first generation and a half of the Happy Madison machine, right? From Happy Gilmore, I say up to Click. I was a pretty regular watcher and supporter of Adam Sandler and his homies fucking movies. But of all the stuff that they made and the comedy that I've probably gone back to the most in my life, it's definitely gonna be Joe Dirt. Look, it's juvenile, it's dumb comedy. But I think it's the sort of like dumb comedy that I grew up with because it was the SNL that I grew up. It was SNL and SNL and fucking what is it? Yeah, yeah, you know, Adam Sandler stuff, all his movies and that sort of style. That was what I grew up with, and I just yeah, do know Joe Dirt. Seriously, I got the poo on me. I fucking love that line when he's just fucking with the bomb and shit. Okay, anyways, Joe Dirt is just like I love the goofy fucking comedy of it. I love the juvenile stupid jokes on it, and I love the bits. Like this movie has some fantastic bits with like the fireworks bit, the home's where you make it. You know, you like to see homos naked? Ah, home's where you make it. Everybody know that, boy. No, dude. Yeah, like all there's so many fucking great like scenes and just memorable fucking lines to me. And um on top of all that, like David Spade actually gives a pretty good performance, relatively speaking. I mean, he's not gonna win an Oscar or nothing, but I think he does a really good job of playing Joe Dirt. Um, and yeah, just being this sincerely um goofy guy, but who is comfortable in his own skin and you know, kind of takes all the shit the world throws at him, sometimes literally, and literally, you know, makes the best out of it. And it's hard not to root for the guy. I watched The Longest Yard for the first time the other day, and it's the first movie I've turned off for a while. I liked like Longest Yard, but I saw that when I was like 15. But you know, of all the movies that I rewatched from the Sandler universe, from the Happy Madison machine, this is the one that's probably has like the most like view counts and stuff. And it's the only one that I actually own on Blu-ray. And yeah, it's just, I mean, it's ultimately a funny fucking movie. It's like a demented, like fucking raunchy take on Forrest Gump, but I think it actually earns its sentimentality more. I really like I just I really love the way that this on top, like while it's making you laugh and all this shit, you don't notice that it's actually oh dude, hell yeah. Emperor's New Groove is like underrated Disney in my opinion. But what was I saying? Yeah, like it's making you laugh and all this shit with some genuinely great comedy. But then what you don't notice is that you're slowly like liking him more and more, feeling more sympathetic towards him. And then by the end, yeah, like you really are rooting for Joe Dirt. And I think the film has a very fucking awesome ending. Yeah, Joe Dirt, dude, fantastic. I'm gonna be rewatching that today probably once I come back somewhere, or come back from watching Honora. But yeah, Joe Dirt, one of my yeah, my all-time favorite comedy, easily. We're winding down here. We only have three more picks to go. Let me make sure here. I already did that. I already did that. I already did that. I already did that. Yeah, I got three more to go here. So speaking of three, let's talk about the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I'm gonna a little controversial take here because last year I did take the time to watch the extended cuts when I got the 4K discs for the first time, and as somebody who couldn't get through the books, primarily because of Tom fucking Bombadil, um, it really didn't offer a whole lot to me. And I'm sure if you love the world of Tolkien and you know the books really well, the extended cuts are far superior. More power to you. But after actually sitting through them, I gotta say, from now on, I'm committed to the theatrical versions because they just function better as movies. It's an yeah, yeah. It at least it finally hit my area this weekend. I'm gonna be watching it later tonight. Um, but oh yeah, expect a review. What was I gonna say? So yeah, dude. It's this great big giant tale of good versus evil with all these amazing characters in it, and the the sort of great big scope of it all, you know. I think especially right now, the sort of grand metaphor of Sauron, the all-seeing eye, and the orcs and all this shit, you know. I think that feels very comparable to how I think a lot of us are feeling, you know. I think there is now like a very obvious Anora, Sauron and Saruman that we're all sort of like looking in the eye right now, and like I said, man, we need to fucking form fellowships. We need to like come together and support each other. That's the only way forward, and that's what these movies are about, dude. These movies are about how nobody can fucking take this kind of shit down on their own, but if have way more action and less of the have we and the books. Oh yeah, no, I'm sure. No, there's a lot of changes that were made obviously for the theatrical cut and even for the extended. But as somebody who was never read the books, yeah, the theatrical is where it's at, you know. And god damn. Anyways, um, what was it saying? Uh, so um with this movie or with the series of movies and all that, like I really feel like J.R.R. Tolkien was sort of really talking about something that was really deep and important to him in terms of his experiences in World War I and World War II, and seeing all the sort of like true darkness coming out and being a real fucking genocidal problem. I'm not saying that we're there. I'm not saying that we're definitely gonna be there. I'm just saying that all cards are on the table, guys. And again, we shouldn't just be sitting around all day watching movies and playing games. But um, it's good to sort of experience something like this, something that is at this scope, done with this sort of love and this care, that are about these themes in times like this. Because you know what, it is a reflection of how things actually worked. If history has shown us anything, is that as long as people, the everyday people, try to like look out for each other, um, things work out somehow in the end, even if shit goes hard. Who knows how things are gonna go, guys? I don't want to fucking get all fucking dramatic here, but yeah. If you need something that's a little bit kind of more on the lighter side of things, a little bit more optimistic and a little bit more hopeful, and also just fucking epic and badass with some fucking amazing action sequences, yeah, the Lord of the Rings trilogy is where it's at. Personally, I see the theatrical, but for a lot of people, I understand if you would like the extended cuts. Now, from something to escape into because of the sort of optimistic that it provides, to something that boldly stares the fucking horrible, depressing sort of state of things right in the fucking eye and dares to comment on it personally. I want to talk about my all-time favorite TV show, And that is The Leftovers. Now, The Leftovers is my all-time favorite show because it's basically the honest portrayal of a world that has lost its fucking mind. Uh, for those who don't know, this is a show that is essentially um, it's called The Leftovers because Leftovers is amazing. Yeah, no, you get it, dude. You absolutely get it. No, seriously, my all-time favorite TV show. And for those who don't know, this show follows after a random mysterious event where 2% of the Earth's population disappears at random with no rhyme or reason. The show follows the 98% that were left over, the leftovers. Um, and the way that it sort of treats the event, in the book, from what I understand it, I have it, but I haven't read it yet. It's very much a response to like 9/11 and how the nation as a whole dealt with that sort of trauma. But in this TV show, they sort of take that idea and expand on it on a much more grander scale, especially as the show goes on. The first season is easily like the hardest one to get through for most people because it's kind of like the most meandering. But I think after episode 5, it sort of finds its groove, in my opinion. Um, but with season 2 and especially season 3, yeah, the show manages to be this very brutally honest portrayal of depression, of I don't know, of just sort of like the inability to cope with being able to understand the state of the world, of trying to believe that there's still something that is worth believing in, even though every fucking step of the way the world keeps telling you no, there's nothing left. I think um I think the world that the show presents is one that, unfortunately, without knowing it, because this show came out in 2014, is a direct reflection of the post COVID world. Because I think there is this sort of vibe that's in the zeitgeist now that didn't exist before COVID, where people just seem kind of lost and a little bit confused, and the world just kind of seems resigned to um not the best place. And I think the way that this show portrays that is very honest, but not in the way that's like overly fucking nihilistic. It definitely gets dark. Don't get me wrong. It goes there. It definitely goes there in a lot of fucking episodes. But I think also it's a more honest portrayal of how that can bring out the worst in us, whether it be in our actions or in our mental health or anything like that. The way that we react to times like this really defines who we are. And what I love about this show is that it's about people who underestimate their own goodness. It's about people who underestimate their own ability to matter, uh, to each other, to something bigger than that, and the inability to see the things in yourself that others see, the good things in yourself that other people see. And I think that's something that's going to be really important to remember, moving forward, man. We're going to have to like try to look for the good in things. And what I love about this show is that it's Carrie Coon's character Nora is maybe the most heartbreaking character ever portrayed on TV. Man, you know it, dude. And then especially like the way that the character uses her show in its final moments is I mean, it's the reason why so many people, I mean, let's be real here. This is a show that like I always recommend to people, and every single person who was taking my recommendation has come back, and I tell you it's a 100% hit rate. They all say it's the greatest show they've ever seen, or if not one of the greatest shows they've ever seen. And trust me, it is honestly one of the most profound and moving experiences in television, up there with maybe Mr. Robot. By the time the show is all over, it's 28 episodes, and by the time it's all over, again, it's one of those shows where like the way that it starts, you can never predict where it goes by the time it's all said and done. But by the time that it's over, you kind of look back and you understand that like this is what it was about all along. And when you understand what the show is trying to get at, it's so, and you guys know me. I'm a fucking cornball. Okay. If it's something that is sincere and optimistic in a genuine and earned way, you got me. You absolutely got me. And that's what this show does. Like it really manages to express something that is fundamental to all of us, but that we can easily forget sometimes because we get caught up in a lot of the hard times. a lot of the hard times that we go through. And this show is about surviving that because that's what we do. We survive stuff like this. We move on from times like these one way or another, and that's the future we're gonna have to fucking get ready for. Give me just a second here, guys. I'm gonna grab some more water. Yeah, and yeah, that is the leftovers, and that is it for today's. Oh shit, I gotta get my phone too. Give me just a second here. Okay, so we have a bunch of announcements. Oh, cool. I was gonna say, yeah, we have a bunch of announcements from a couple of really big, some of the bigger, um, boutique blue label releases. Some at least some of the more like beloved ones, and then one really surprising one, a bigger sort of player that I'm surprised to even be covering, right? But first and foremost, I want to talk about Shout/Scream Factory. Let me go ahead and share this tab over here. All right, so oh shit. Oh, what? I didn't even see this one yet. Dude. Oh, there's gonna be Rock and Roll High School on 4K. Oh, what? That is too okay. Um, it's time to head back to high school, back to school, Rock and Roll High School, that is, with the special 45th anniversary edition featuring the cult classic New Living Mastered in 4K. Riff Randall, PJ Souls from Halloween, is a rockin'est rebel at Vince Lombardi High. Evelyn Togar, played by Mary Woronov from Eating Raoul, is a strict new principal with plans to rule the school like her own personal dictatorship. And the Ramones are the hottest band around. Fuck yeah. When these forces of nature collide, Lombardi High will never be the same. Striking back against Togar's record burnings and iron fisted discipline, Riff leads a revolt that rocks the roof right off the school's hollowed halls. With the B movie pedigree that few films can match, Rock and Roll High School is the ultimate teacher of the three R's: rock, rebellion, and Ramones. Dude. Hell fucking yeah. I cannot. I'm definitely gonna pre-order this. Um, as you guys know, I love me some punk music. And even if I didn't, everybody loves the Ramones, or at least everybody should love the Ramones. They're the greatest pop band of all time. Um, but yeah, let me see if there's a video about this Rock and Roll High School. Rock and Roll High School. Dum, 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 dum. Let's see. Um, let's see. I don't want to get where's the trailer at? Here we go. Let's watch the trailer here. Fucking 240p. Eighties comedy, y'all. Nah, bro. Like I've seen it before. Okay. MC5 for okay. Let me know if the audio's back. I'm gonna assume the audio's back, but let me see. Let me get this back up here. Share screen. Ooh. All right. Cool. Awesome. But yeah, dude, fucking hell yeah. Rock and Roll High School Ramones, and you're absolutely right. I need to be a little bit careful, about showing some more stuff from the 80s and 70s. But man, it is only 36 bucks. That's not even that bad. With the fucking poster too. I am so gonna buy this, man. Dude, this is like one of the most exciting releases already. We're off to a good fucking start. By the way, a 4 disc set of Mike Flanagan's Hush. Um, I think it was actually just released. Silent Night, Deadly Night with the novelization here. They're sort of the big banner releases, but these are the new releases that they just put out here. The other ones at least. And let's see. Newest arrivals. Yeah. So we got Pumpkinhead. I remember seeing that one from back in the day. I think the more interesting one to talk about here is The Last Voyage of the Demeter, because that only came out like not too long ago. And I was planning on seeing it in theaters, but I had like kind of middling reviews, so I didn't go see it. See what else we got here. Outside of Rock and Roll High School, Pumpkinhead is a total classic, by the way. Oh yeah, especially for like the direct-to-video stuff. I remember seeing a report of Martin Scorsese doing a Ramones biopic with Adam Driver as Joey Ramone, but that was 7 or 8 years ago. Dude, that would have been great fucking casting, man. Adam Driver is Joey Ramone, and yeah, that would have been awesome. But yeah, we also got Frankie Frico, which is for those who don't know, like a movie that actually came out this year. And I'll go to play the trailer for that because it actually looks kind of pretty fucking dope here. Frankie Frico. Let's see. Here we go. From Shout Studios.
Connor had it all. The perfect job.
Man. Hey.
The perfect girl.
You look like a movie star.
Which one?
Gary Busey.
The perfect life.
You know anything about this Frankie Frico guy? He's like a little gremlin that likes to party.
You shouldn't call numbers like that.
Until one day, things got Frico.
Hello?
This is Frankie.
Yeah, buddy. Are you ready?
Ready for what?
To party, my man.
Yes! I'm ready to party!
Yeah, we.
Oh my god.
We're here to help you loosen up. We're gonna party hard, and then we'll be on our way. Time to get Frico!
Shamadoo.
Listen, you little freaks.
Oh.
I'm gonna make you pay!
Is everything all right? You sound stressed.
Oh,
I was born to party, senor nerd. I was put on this earth to party. What do you think this stream is? This is a party.
no.
Don't pick it up! Frankie! What is going on? They found us! You can't escape me!
is in peril.
Where are we?
No more games, Frankie. No one runs from me. You're mine.
Don't be a hero.
This is bad.
I believe in you.
Let's boogie.
Be a freako.
He's got a little freako.
Frankie Freako.
President Munch needs a new concubine.
He's a keeper. Ow!
Yeah, this movie actually came out in theaters like last month, and I was planning to go see it, but I never got around to it, unfortunately. But yeah, Shout Factory is coming pretty good. This some pretty solid. Your dog only pops in when you do. By the way, oh shit. Okay. I watched the trailer before the stream. Yeah, no. I think Perp definitely streamed it before. Let me see. Your dialogue only pops up on screen when you do. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, so I'll just have to work with that. Let me see. Let me put it like that then. Maybe that'll work. Yeah, there's a lot of really solid releases here. I can't remember the last time that I checked here, but let me see. The Whitest Kids You Know complete 10 seasons. I know they put out the Holdovers. Fun homage to Gremlins. Definitely. Ted, Winnie the Pooh. Oh, big fan. Yo, okay. This is one of those movies that just one of the like the mid to late 2000s was just full of these like great little indie movies that were just kind of passion projects, and this is one of them. This is Patton Oswalt. It's from the guy who wrote The Wrestler. It was the movie they made right after, and it's just about a guy who's a huge, big fan of sports, but he kind of has like a very unfulfilling life. And yeah, it's a fantastic little movie right here. I'm gonna have to pick this up when it goes on sale, for sure. So yeah, that was the last time that I checked here. So there's Linoleum, there's Miranda, A World Without Thieves. I never heard about that one. Let's see this one right here. Wang Bo, Andy Lau, and Wang Li should have made the perfect Bonnie and Clyde. The former a seasoned con man and master pickpocket from Hong Kong, the latter a grifter femme fatale from Taiwan. Partners in crime and passion, the couple swindles their way across China until the day they run into the naive and wealthy Fu Zhen in the train station. An encounter that will alter their fate forever. When the three of them board a train full of thieves, prowling Zhen's savings, Lee takes it upon herself to be the protector, reluctantly drawn into his ironic battle of good and evil, innocence and deceit. Bo ultimately becomes much more than he bargained for, an unwitting hero. That movie, that sounds pretty legit. Okay. That was an interesting title. Let's see what the word of mouth on that one. Let's see. The Holdovers on 4K. I think I might have already pointed that out. The complete cracking collection of Wallace and Gromit. I didn't know they put this out on 4 fucking K. Okay, that's actually pretty legit. I'm not gonna lie. I watched Big Fan on Tubi. It's surprisingly sad but still funny. Oh, it's a great movie. Yeah, 100%. It's a bummer that the writer of The Wrestler didn't get much traction after that. But yeah, Wallace and Gromit is. Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched. I used to watch their stuff all the time when it came on TV when I was a kid, but to be honest, not like much of their newer stuff. Of course, The Faculty on 4K. I should probably pick that up. I'm a big fan of that movie. They got Werner Herzog. Speaking of Werner Herzog, they got Aguirre, Wrath of God. And speaking of brilliant directors, we got brilliant filmmakers. We got Vin Diesel's Riddick on 4K. And the gift sounds familiar. What the hell is it about here? What is the gift? From legendary director Sam. Oh, okay. That's why he sounds familiar. It comes a pulse-pounding mystery about a southern Gothic town with dark secrets winding through its streets. Two-time Oscar winner Kate Blanchett leads an incredible all-star cast, including two-time Oscar winner Hilary Swank, Keanu Reeves, Katie Holmes, Gio Giovanni Ribisi, and Greg Kinnear. In a small Georgia town, Annie Wilson makes her living by foretelling others' futures through her own though her own path is becoming cloudier than even she can see. When a client's violently jealous husband threatens her, the visions of a missing girl plague her. Annie is unwittingly pulled into a thicket of lies and deception in which her extraordinary gift can be used against her. I didn't know this was out, but I gotta pick this up. Fucking, I've been so stuck on sort of the more genre end of things here that I really haven't kept up with Shout Factory because there's to me such a oh shit, what's up, Troy? Man, good to see you again, man. Let me see. Gary has one of the most stunning final sequences ever. Kinski and those monkeys live in my head. Okay, you know what, man? Like, I gotta put that on my fucking list too. I need to watch some more Werner Herzog. That's for sure, man. Let's see. Is this taking a while to load? Let me refresh it here. Okay. Um, and then let's see. I never heard of Model House or Formosa Betrayed. What the hell is Sanctum here? Let's see. Okay, the executive producer of James. Who directed it? Does it say here? Because thrilling underwater adventure based on true events. Master cave diver Frank McGuire leads a team, including his teenage son, to explore the largest, most beautiful, and least accessible cave system on Earth. But when a tropical storm cuts off their only escape route, the team must work together to find their way through an uncharted and dangerous underwater labyrinth to make it out alive. With time running out, can they survive? Will they be trapped forever? You know what? That sounds pretty legit. I don't know if I'll spend money to watch it blind, but I'll keep my eye on it on streaming for sure. What else here? Of course, last voyage of the Demeter, and yeah, I think that's the big releases from new releases from Shout Factory that I wanted to talk about here. Radiance has let me see, has some announcements too for February here. So let's see what they're all about. So we got Tom Newman's What Happened Was. Jackie and Michael are co-workers at a New York law firm who, after months of flirtation, agreed to meet for a first date at Jackie's apartment. Their initially charged and playful interactions eventually evolve into long, dark nights of the soul as the two would-be lovers get to know each other properly for the first time and discover they all may not be as it seems. That all may not be as it seems. Winner of Sundance Festival Jury Prize in 1994. What Happened Was is a landmark work of American independent cinema anchored around two stunning performances presented in an often hilarious, often bleak, but always excoriatingly honest exploration of dating in the big city. Radiance is proud to present the film on UK home video for the first time. Okay. I've never actually heard of this one. I don't know if this is coming to the States. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, okay. Let's just continue on here. What Happened Was is a good film. It would work well as a play. Let's see then. Let's watch the trailer for it. What Happened Was. Okay, let's see. Sorry, guys. By the way, this whole trailer is just it shows them awkwardly sitting on the couch trying to talk to each other. It's so crazy to me to think about like back in the 90s. If you wanted to make a movie that was just like people sitting around like talking and stuff, you'd have to spend like thousands, like tens of thousands of dollars to do that. When it's just like, and it's so basic, right? Like it's just people sitting around talking. But yeah, you'd have to commit like $30,000 to make like Clerks. Nowadays, I think something we take for granted is like you can make that kind of movie on such a like smart, like small budget. Um, an icon of the Hong Kong. This, by the way, Nomad, and My Heart is the Eternal Rose here, and directed by Patrick Tam. An icon of the Hong Kong New Wave and the mentor of Wong Kar Wai. Oh, I didn't know that. Patrick Tam worked with icons including Tony Long, Leslie Chung, Kenny B, and others in these two inimitable classics. In Nomad, two couples, equal parts rich and working class, bond and experience the frolics of youth. The arrival of a Red Army deserter brings violence and disruption, prompting incredible plot twists, inspired set pieces. My Heart is the Eternal Rose finds Tam in the more familiar heroic bloodshed genre. A young couple are torn apart by a botched triad job that forces Rick to relocate to the Philippines and Lap to become a gangster's mole. 6 years later, they meet again, but the reunion only reignites the danger that drove them apart. Suddenly shot by David Chung and Christopher Doyle, both films are newly restored and made available on Blu-ray for the first time in the UK. Now, I know that I'm saying that a lot of this is like for the UK, but they also tend to have almost all of these in UK versions. So I mean, in US regional versions and stuff. So just make sure to specify that if you actually want to purchase these. But let's check out the trailer for My Heart is the Eternal Rose here. Wow, I love that look.
你呢世人有冇真正中意过一个人？
Okay, dude, this actually looks really fucking good. I'm not gonna lie, this looks fucking legit. Yeah, if there's an American version of this, I'm definitely getting it, dude. All right, let's see what else they got here. The Cat, a film by Dominic K. Graff. That's a hell of a fucking image right there. Two robbers hold up a bank and its employees demanding 3 million marks for their ransom. The police plot to storm the bank, but are unaware that the robbers have an accomplice on the outside, anticipating their every move. Genre master Dominic Graff specializes in crime films, and The Cat is one of his greatest. A heist film of the highest order. It grabs you from its opening sequences and doesn't let go. Winner of Best Direction at the German Film Awards, The Cat is an undiscovered treasure, and Radiance Films is proud to present it on Blu-ray for the first time outside of Germany. All right, let's check this. By the way, these are like surprise. Is it just me or like these prices surprisingly cheap here? Because yeah, like $14 for that. It's pretty good for a boutique label, in my opinion. Probably got like $20-something in America, but you know how it is. All right, let me see. The Cat. No. German. Here we go. No, that's not it. Oh, I don't think there's a trailer for The Cat. There's a trailer for The Cat from like a Korean movie, but not from a German movie. Okay. Well, unfortunately, there's no trailer for this one here. So let's see what else Radiance has put out here. Hokuriku Proxy War. Loose cannon gangster Kawada rebels when his two-timing boss forms an alliance with the major crime syndicate. The syndicate's main rivals see Kawada as the perfect proxy, but his furious temper quickly rubs them the wrong way, leaving Kawada to face overwhelming forces. Fukasaku's final Yakuza film features some of the strongest women's roles in his career, plus a raucous central performance from Hiroki Matsukata and support from the legendary Sony Chiba. Oh, good shit here. Yeah, let's check out the trailer for Hokuriku Proxy War. Yeah, here we go. Oh, so Arrow Video has a version of this out too from 8 years ago. Let's check it out. Part of the Battle Without Honoring Humanity trilogy. They actually have a whole box set of the 3 movies out on Arrow right now that I like. I fucking love these fucking like title cards here. A dream of nationwide conquest. A map of violence whose boundaries are marked with bullets. Than anything, because like I hate to say this, but seeing that makes me just kind of want to buy the Arrow trilogy set instead. But I mean, Radiance does some great fucking transfers, no doubt about it. But if it's only one film that's part of a greater trilogy, I kind of want to see the greater trilogy. You know, I think this is the last film here. Wait, is this okay? I think I might have already talked about this one, but let's go ahead and just read it out just in case. A man brutally murders a woman after forcing her to write the names of 4 others. As the murders pile up, the police investigate the links between the victims and how they may be connected to the suicide of a young boy in the same building. Directed by Tai Kato, a former apprentice of Akira Kurosawa, is better known for his Yakuza films. I, the Executioner is a pitch-black neo-noir that makes the serial killer the central character. Sensationally photographic with claustrophobic close-ups, Kato's film evokes both Hitchcock's Psycho and the films of Nagisa Oshima, while also prefiguring the Italian Giallo. Okay, yeah, let's check out I, the Executioner then. What does that sound familiar to me? Is that like something that Tarantino referenced at some point? You know. Let's see. Oh, I guess it's like a relatively recent movie then. Okay, badass.
범행을 저질렀던 지역에서 똑같은 방식으로 살해를 당했다는 것도 공통점입니다. 야, 이 또라이 새끼야! 너 이 새끼 진짜 뒤질래?
저 선배님이 조태우 잡으시는 거고 경찰 된 건데.
이게 조직적인 범행이면 어떡할 거야?
너 그러다 실수한다. 재지연 새끼들 잡는 게 내 일이고.
It actually seems pretty legit. I think it's probably like the newest release that I've seen Radiance put out here, at least that I can think of. Yeah, I think Walkspot was the last one that I covered, and that is Radiance's February announcements here. We have a few more things to cover. And that includes Grindhouse Videos sale. They have a big sale going on right now. It's yeah. There you go. Grindhouse Videos, Eduardo. Okay, here we go. Yeah, a huge fucking sell here. Man, I just can't show fucking shit, guys. Okay, so we do got it here. Some of their more, yeah, like let's see what they have here. Let's get into their actual fucking the things that I can show on screen here. These are buy two get one sales here. We got a couple of Arrow, good amount of Arrow titles here. Porno Holocaust. I mean, that just sounds like something Vinegar Syndrome probably has put out here. A lot of adult entertainment here. I guess I have to be very careful with what I show, but it looks like we have a couple of boutique label releases that are in here. A lot of Arrow specifically. Yeah, they have the Honor Without Battle Without Honor or Pride thing. Let's see. I'm a little bit. No, they got the Terrifier 2 Blu-ray, region free import. That's pretty good. There's 29 pages of this. We're not going to go through the whole thing here. Let's just go through the first couple. Let's see what else they got. I think they're clearing out a lot of a lot of their sort of older sort of works here. Beach Babes from Beyond. Let's see. Well, yeah. I just wanted to go ahead and raise the alarm about that. It looks like it's mostly a lot of their more exploitation material. But the last one that I want to talk about here is a more surprising one, in my opinion. But we're going to talk about a couple of Walmart releases, believe it or not. They have a couple of 4K steelbooks that I genuinely can't believe look as cool as they do. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Oh man, I know I saw it on here. It is. Here it fucking is. Let me see. How do I click on it? I want to see the actual thing. Dude, check out this Drag Me to Hell. Like the fucking artwork here is fucking fantastical. I know that yeah, so it's from Shout Factory. So maybe it's just like their version of it, but this is fucking legit here, and I really dig that. We got that one, and we also got Motel Hell. Let me see. Motel Hell 4K. With a similar fucking badass cover here. Yeah, this one right here. I think it's another Shout Factory release, but and maybe that's all it really is. But you gotta admit, that's fucking nice right there. That's real nice. And that's it. That is it for today's boutique Blu-ray release news. We have one final segment here. And it is going to be it's going to be, the short film that we close out with. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find it. What the hell? Hold on. Let me see if I can find him in my here we go. So usually I cover other people's short films, but I wanted to cover something that is sort of funny, a little bit lighthearted myself. And this is a little comedy film that a bunch of my friends and I made. It's sort of like a practice run for a 12-hour comedy contest that we did the week after. We gave ourselves 12 hours to make a little short film, and I forgot what the I think we just got like a single word to inspire us, and I think it was just something about being lazy. So this is what we came up with. Yeah, let's check it out.
Can't fuck the system at your house. Say fuck the system. Fuck the system in the mouth. Hey, bro, can't fuck the system at the house.
It's fucking dark in here.
I didn't notice, but bro, you need to sit the fuck down and listen to this shit. I've been kicking out the jams all motherfucking night. This motherfucker.
I gotta take this though real quick. Hey, Mom. No, I just got back. I think I got it though. What? Yeah, that's him. He's I don't think I'm gonna be coming back home this time, Mom. I think it's gonna work out. I'll let you know though. I love you too. All right, I will. Bye.
Set the world on fire because I'm hella lit. Go tell a bitch to hell with it. Hey, what rhymes with hella lit?
I don't know, man. I'm gonna go take a shit.
Take a shit. You need to check this shit out with the fucking change, man. Thanks for that fucking line. Oh, all I know is the system.
Yeah, it sounds great, bro. Making real progress. Put it. Shit. Fucking shit. Kicking fucking ass, right?
Hello. Who's this? Oh, he's taking a shit right now. He's been shitting a lot lately. It's weird. Anyways, you ready to hear some shit that's gonna blow your fucking mind?
Fuck shit. Oh, this is Mike. Oh. Sure.
Nice, sexy. Oh, you like that song, huh? Yeah, me too. I'm really proud of it. Oh, you want more of a reggae influence? That's fascinating.
So did my references come through? Everything's looking good? You know, my resume didn't say it, but I like reggae music too. Fucking love 311. 311. Hello? Shit.
Life's life, you know?
Fuck, man.
Shit happens.
No, shit doesn't just happen. Really fucked that one up for me, man. That was my last potential job. I had good fake resume. I had good fake references. I bullshitted my way through that interview flawlessly. Are you dropping fucking acid right now?
Yeah, buddy.
Now's not the time to be dropping acid. You're always dropping acid at inappropriate times, man. You dropped acid when we were walking in the park. You dropped acid when we went to the fancy restaurant. You dropped acid in front of our landlord.
You know what? You're right. This isn't the time to be doing acid. Your vibes are killing me. I'm pretty sure I met God last night. She was a giant purple duck, and I think she's in love with me. Huh. Got a job application?
Yeah, man, it's a job application. It's typical. You remember talking to God and stuff. You don't remember bugging me with that song or ruining my job yesterday.
I wrote a song yesterday. I fucking wrote this?
Yeah, man.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah. I want to go finish those job applications now.
Yeah, no need. I got us covered on the right.
How's that?
I invested in humptrump.com like last year, and I'm pretty much rolling in the dough these days. We're good on that. But hey, could you give me a ride?
Where do you need to go, man?
Rehab.
My internet thinks I need rehab. It's the most peculiar thing. Because when I open my
So yeah, that's a movie that I made with my homies back in the day. It was a lot of fucking fun. And there's like, it's so funny to me because like, of course, I see all the making of stuff, but like, there's one thing that I'm really proud of here is that a big sort of, I guess, inside joke between Nathan and I is that I this one time we got into a really stupid debate about 311, and we like got way too fucking heated over fucking. It's back when we were young, you know. So like 311 has always been like a bit of a joke between us. I'm glad you liked it, man. I'm glad you like it, Dio. Yeah, it's my most I think it's my most lighthearted movie, and I'm super fucking proud of it because it was like really like all of us like just making shit up on the spot, like funny lines, and just all within like 12 hours we pulled this fucking thing off, and it was just one of the most fun and rewarding experiences that I ever had, like making movies and shit. And yeah, I'm really proud of it. I don't think I would fucking change a goddamn thing about it, except maybe add some more music, but I think there's enough music with him going on there. And that's gonna be today's stream, guys. And thank you guys so much for your kind words. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the movie. But that's gonna be it for today. Thank everybody for watching. Times are hard right now, but we're gonna fucking pull through. We're gonna get through this shit. And until then, I'm gonna be streaming this fucking show because the most important fucking thing. Dude, that's Jimmy fucking Two Skulls, man. Like me and that dude. If you like him in this, definitely check him out in unaired pilot because it's like a complete 180 here. That is like, I remember when we were working on that, like when we actually screened it, because he went pretty deep for that character, and when we screened it, like he couldn't even be in the room because if you watch it, like his character is like the embodiment of toxic masculinity, and he said he had to tap into some like real raw shit. Like, anyways, I'm honored that he did that for me to make my movie. And if you enjoyed that, definitely check that out. Thank you guys all for watching. Thank you all for hanging out. If you guys are watching this after it was live, make sure to say hi in the comments, like if you haven't, and subscribe if you enjoyed tonight's stream. Until next time, I've been Ed. You guys have been awesome.
Bye.